Alright, well, I was supposed to record yesterday, and I ate a little too much during my cheat day. So, I'm recording today. It's gonna come out, obviously, today. Just Overwatch in 2020, it just feels odd playing Overwatch now in 2020 since nobody's really playing it. I tried to jump into a casual, and supposedly now there's a 2-2-2 system, which makes it feel more restricting because everybody, let's just say, a lot of people want to play DPS, and I'm forced half the time to play healer or tank. This is why I play casuals, and even in casuals I am still forced to play healer or tank because I am just a little puny little kid and I still care about winning. But still, it's just that Overwatch nowadays just feels like a shadow of its former self. It feels a little bit like forced sometimes to play it. I only play it when I want to have like a little break from like Call of Duty, or want to play like take a little break from like League or even like some MMO. I'm like, oh, let's just start up Overwatch, play like a match or two, and it's usually just only a match or two. If I play more than a match or two, it's a miracle. And Overwatch just feels cluttered. It just feels like it doesn't have an identity anymore. They introduced new champs which are better than the old champs. Like Mora is now like a primary healer for everybody, and obviously Mercy's still there. Mercy's mostly the primary healer, but also Moira's like the second option now, besides Anna. It just feels like it wants you to it wants to innovate itself, but it can't due to it being mostly catered to competitive play. And with that, the game just seems to be even more toxic than before. The casuals don't really have a chance to play and enjoy the game without seeing toxic messages in the chat or people saying, oh, you're not putting out enough DPS. And sure, it should be competitive, but when somebody's trying to play just a casual match and people are spamming that they're not good enough at DPS to switch or to leave because they shouldn't even be playing the game, or like they're healer and they're not even healing that much, it's like, okay, let the player play how they want and they'll enjoy the game. That is mostly the reason why your game isn't doing as great. And sure, there are other games that are toxic, but it's not as toxic as, sure, it's not as toxic as League, but it's still to the point where you see it so commonly that if you're a player that's more than casual and it's played it for a couple years, it kind of feels like it's normal and you've been diluted. But for those new players who see Overwatch and are technically still new, they stop playing it just because the people who play it now are just so like toxic and just care about winning so much. Or sometimes when you're just trying to have fun, the casual new player just gets pooped on by some tryhard on the other team, or somebody who's trying to warm up before playing competitive or playing ranked. Pretty much, it just feels like Overwatch is just should be aimed at players who want to play more seriously instead of this happy casual game, because casual players don't really seem to enjoy it as much. Even though the arcade, which is one of the game modes I'm playing now, where you can go back to the casual matches of the old version, where it wasn't 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and 2 healers, where you could choose any character even if you don't have a tank or a healer. You just go 5 DPS, 1 healer, or 2 healers, 4 DPS, or whatever you want. Even though that's in the game and it makes the game more fun, it just feels like the game is dull. It doesn't feel fun. It feels sometimes like forced whenever you play it, and that's what makes me want to play something else. So yeah, it's just something that hopefully they could fix to where maybe if there's even more of a filter for people, or maybe help out those casual players by giving them a specific mode for a certain level. Since I'm not going to lie, every game I get into, there are people who are already at like level, I don't even remember how the levels work. That's how much I even play Overwatch. I don't even know how the levels work anymore. So it just feels like the game is just at this point where casual players can't get into it since the hardcore players are pushing them out, and when the casual player does get into it, they slowly turn into that toxic player trying to defend themselves, just so they can enjoy the game, or even just maybe even play a little bit of the game. That's where Overwatch is kind of messing up. It's like League, pretty much. League, yeah, it's growing just a bit, but a lot of people aren't playing it anymore, or a lot of people aren't trying to play it because the community is just so toxic, and it feels like you get shoved out even if you're a new player, because every game it feels like you're being told you are good enough because they want to win, or they're telling you, oh, you made a mistake, you suck, or dude, shut up, or something dumb. I don't want to say exactly because those are some words, they use some words that I can't use personally, but toxicity really does ruin games. And I feel like that's one reason that Overwatch was ruined, but also the game being restricting with the 2-2-2 system really affected it as well. And also the new heroes kind of messing the whole meta up, and still the meta just seems to be new heroes mostly, and some of the old heroes, while the old meta was kind of more fluid and it felt more easier, and it felt like it fit in more. Like now Moira, you can just heal and you can constantly get her ults if you get enough damage, and she has those throwing damage orbs which you could kill any DPS with if you just toss the orb and you also aim at them with your damage. So it just feels like this game is kind of a bit broken certain times, but also sometimes it feels fluid. So the game is just inconsistent, and also the meta just seems to be mostly what's the next new hero. Like how Brigitte was a bit OP and still is a little bit OP sometimes. Feels like it's either you have to go Brigitte, Mercy, Moira, or Anna, and then the rest of the healers, sure, you can go Lucio since he does help in certain maps, but it feels restricting. This is just from a casual player. For more intense players, I don't know. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's even more restricting, or maybe it's not even restricting at all. I heard pros just quit because they didn't love the game anymore, because also the 2-2-2 system kind of ruined it for them, because it felt restricting and they couldn't make creative strategies for creative comps, and they couldn't make their creative comps like they used to, which is something that Overwatch kind of ruined the game a little, because we just love trying some goofy stuff in some casual matches. And sure, there is the arcade mode where you can choose any hero you want, but new players, they don't even know what the arcade is. And sure, they can click it, but most of the time they see casual. Oh, casual match, yeah, let me play that. That should just be like a normal match, right, where I could choose or whatever I want. Oh wait, I have to play a tank, a DPS, or a healer. But what if I don't know how to tank? Yeah, but it takes like 7 minutes to get a match on DPS. That's something that pushes casuals away, because they don't want to be waiting for matches. And just because this game wants to be balanced for competitive, which they should switch that only to become competitive, and then push the arcade mode where you can choose any character you want, to casual, and to get rid of the 2-2-2 system. That's just my opinion, but it's just an opinion. I think that's where I'm ending here. Just Overwatch 2020 just feels meh. It doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel bad, it just feels meh. It feels like it had potential, but now it just, you don't know where it's gonna go. Alright, I'm in here, guys. I'll see you on the next one, and have a lovely day.